Insurance can be one of the biggest wastes of money, robbing you of wealth for little chance of any benefit. There's so many times we are asked to insure something inconsequential, it doesn't really matter, and these dollars end up costing 6 or even 7 figures of wealth over a lifetime. $50 here, $12 there, sometimes every month, for such a minimal benefit, but it adds up over time. Think of what you can buy or how much more you would have invested if you just knew what was worth it or what will never be worth it when it comes to insurance. Look, if you don't discover these 7 things, you guaranteed will lose money, you'll waste that hard-earned cash, and this is the difference between dream trips, dream vehicles, or even a dream home over your lifetime. There are insurances that matter, but others that they just are so costly and they just don't matter. This video is so you can tell the difference and put money back into your pocket, put that money back into your life. My first clients, well, they're my grandparents. Yeah, they gave me a chance, but thankfully, as I looked through their insurance plans, I found several policies with minimal benefit, but plenty of cost over time. All it really took was asking the right question with a very simple but effective philosophy. So let's look at these 7 insurances, beginning with supplemental insurance. My grandparents had an Aflac policy for critical illness. What that covered was additional coverage to supplement their health insurance. But as we looked over the years of them having it, there was minimal benefit because they had never even used it once. So this would be like $50 if they went to a hospital and did this, or $100 for that, and they'd have to file a claim. I looked into it further, and these types of policies, for every dollar that came in, less than 35 cents per dollar was ever paid out in benefit. What a crazy profitable thing with insurance. So look for those supplemental policies. Is it something that's actually helping you? Would you ever use it? And would it even be catastrophic if the incident occurred? If it's something that you have the cash for and go to sleep that night even after spending that cash because it didn't stress you out, it's probably a policy to drop. The other policy they had on supplemental insurance was AD&D, accidental death and dismemberment. I kind of joked with them. I'm like, well, if you get hit by a car with your leg in a bucket on a Tuesday, then you get paid more. But if it's not an accident, then no payout. Most of these accidental death things, like if you're in a plane crash, you're going to get money from that company. You don't need accidental death, just actual life insurance. So this is something that you'll see all the time that people have. They pay a few bucks for, but it's so rare that it actually ever pays out because most people die of an illness or old age, not because of some accident. So don't worry about those types of plans. The next type of insurance is credit card insurance. Well, the benefits generally include coverage for disability or critical illness or job loss, or again, accidental death or dismemberment like we just talked about. What's it going to do? It's going to cover your payment. Don't worry about those types of things. Instead, have really good disability insurance or have good life insurance. These little things, they end up seeming like they're small amounts of money, but it ends up being a big cost. The next one is one that I just rented a car, and I noticed that they really try to get you to the rental car insurance. But for most of you, if you have auto insurance, you already have the provisions that cover this. So when you get that rental car insurance, you're insuring twice. It's a duplicate coverage. It's a duplicate cost. It's not necessarily benefiting you, again, because it seems like a small amount, but every single time you're renting a car, you already have that insurance for the most part, right? So make sure and look at your auto insurance, find out if it's covered, then don't get that additional coverage when you rent the car. Now, this is one that drives me nuts, but mortgage insurance. So it's a lot like credit card insurance, but it just says, well, if something happens to you, right, it could be disability or critical illness or job loss or something like that. You got to look at the provisions, but then they'll make your mortgage payment a lot more expensive often than the credit card insurance. But this is another supplemental type policy that isn't providing enough benefit. Fifth one is one I see all the time. Flight insurance. And they really try to push you towards it and give you all these reasons that you need to have it. But in my estimation, it rarely benefits you. It's for medical emergencies, trip cancellation, trip interruption, delays, medical evacuation, lost, damaged, or stolen luggage. Look, I flew to Egypt once. They lost my luggage, and what they do, they just gave me money, and I didn't have flight insurance. You know, I've got medical insurance, so I've got that type of thing. And I've had to move flights and change flights, and right now, I just get a flight credit on my Delta app. So it's in the fine print, the things that are not covered that become something to take a look at. And almost comical. Losses due to venereal disease. That is actually in the fine print. The AIDS virus, is that still a thing that people are worried about? Pregnancy, except complications of pregnancy, or abortion. Losses due to mental, psychological, or nervous disorders, including anxiety, depression, neurosis, or psychosis. Losses due to nuclear radiation or radioactive contamination. Where the hell are you guys traveling? To Chernobyl? This is just something that they're having tons of people pay for, and it rarely provides a benefit. Again, having good medical insurance, having good car insurance, having the basics of disability and life insurance, getting the actual policies, not these little things that I think they're preying on people that don't have enough savings, don't know enough about what they're getting into. A lot of times this is absolutely wasted money. Another one that comes up all the time, I'm going to check out, I buy something, it's like, oh, would you like an extended warranty on this product? A, will I remember that I have the extended warranty? B, what is the process it takes to go through to get this extended warranty on the product? I just think this is something that people pay for because it, again, seems like small amounts of money in comparison to the purchase, but it's that extended warranty is very rarely utilized or worth it. Number 7 is private mortgage insurance. When you buy a home and you don't have at least 20% down, well, then they're going to charge you private mortgage insurance. And so this is to protect the mortgage company, not for you. It's really to protect them, and it's an additional fee for private mortgage insurance. But if you have a second mortgage, if you don't have the full 20% down, by having a second mortgage, that can cover part of that 20%, and you're not going to pay private mortgage insurance on that primary mortgage. So that's something that kind of work around and ultimately not have to pay for. So let's go through these again. All these supplemental insurances, right? Like accidental death and dismemberment, or critical illness policies, or credit card insurance, or rental car insurance, or mortgage insurance, or flight insurance, or extended warranties on products. A lot of this has to do with death, so having the right life insurance, which you can check out at cashflowbanking.com, how to pick that up as kind of a no out-of-pocket outlay and how you flow with your money. And so it kind of covers a lot of these things, or even how you design your insurance coverage with your car insurance or homeowner's insurance can make a big difference with this. And just having enough savings that if there is an issue for 3 months or 6 months, you've got something handled before your long-term insurance kicks in with real benefits that actually matter. So put more money in your pocket. Don't make the mistakes that my grandparents did. They paid for almost like 18, 19 years with never having a claim. Now, when could these policies actually make sense? Well, I saw early on in my career when I was looking at all the things with insurance is sometimes medical insurance wouldn't cover for when someone had a baby until there was a $5,000 deductible. And there were policies with Aflac that would cover that first $5,000, but you had to have the insurance within a certain time before becoming pregnant. But I saw where people would utilize those policies with success and it'd be helpful for them. But again, it depends on your financial circumstance. If you already have the cash, trying to work this system and trying to spend all the time going through all the claims process may not be worth it, but most of these are inconsequential coverages. Insure the catastrophic, not the inconsequential, and it's going to help you out. Now, as a bonus, here's one of the things that you could do. You can look at all your deductibles because really low deductibles have higher premiums. And the first dollars that we pay for in coverage are the most expensive, or the last dollar of coverage is the least expensive because it's the least likely yet most catastrophic thing. Least likely if you have $1 million umbrella policy or excess liability coverage that you actually get in tapping in that $1 million, where if you have a $100 deductible on a car, it's likely that you're going to tap into that if you get into a fender bender. So by increasing your deductibles, you can buy higher, more catastrophic coverages like your limits of liability or umbrella policies, transferring true risk, not the small things. Now, I get it. If you're just starting out, or you just went through a major reorganization or bankruptcy, or you're just struggling to get by, some of these things might be the difference between making it and being bankrupt. So what can you do to create liquidity? Having a line of credit, having access to some of your funds, or even invading retirement plans to cover some of these small things so that you don't have to get nickeled and dimed to the point where it ends up costing you tons of money over your lifetime. Would you like more money? Would you like to be able to utilize that money in a way that you can enjoy life along the way? Well, I've decided to tackle all things money, whether it's keeping it, whether it's growing it, whether it's being more efficient with it, or whether it's just knowing where you're at with it so that you don't feel confusion. So if you'd like to cut through the complexity and be reassured that it is possible to simplify your finances and enjoy your life along the way, well, just check out the next video.